Welcome to my daily review. Today is Tuesday, March 18th, and you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which fell 305 points or 1.71% on 19% below the average 50-day volume. You can see recently, the last 4 or 5 sessions, we're seeing lower and lower volume here on the Nasdaq. So low volume heading into the meeting from the FOMC tomorrow, in which Jerome Powell will not change interest rates at all, but they're going to parse every word that he says after the meeting tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And so it's a little bit of caution ahead of Powell, whatever he has to say. I don't think they're going to change interest rates, though it's widely expected. They pause this time around. So anyway, the Nasdaq here showing a little bit of caution ahead of that meeting. It made a low on last Tuesday, which was the 11th of 17,238. Tested the low at 17,239 on Thursday. Had an up day on Friday. And people got excited, but I got to show you the last 3 Fridays. We've had these big days, right? The 7th, and then the 14th, which is last Friday, then 2 Fridays ago, and then 3 Fridays ago on the 28th, it had this big move that bounced off the 200, and everybody's like, woohoo, that's a technical bounce. We're bouncing off the 200. We're going to, rip higher from here. And it did a little head fake there on Monday morning, went higher, then pulled back, and has been selling off ever since. Like I say, a lot of people want to call the bottom here because it retested that low, but I'm just gonna hold judgment and just wait for the market to prove itself. It's guilty until proven innocent. And right now, I'm just kind of waiting on a follow through day, and you'll know it. It'll be 1% or more with a volume above, the prior day's volume, which would be easy bar to hurdle right now because the volume's really low. So we could get that as soon as tomorrow. Just trying to stay positive here because there's a lot to be negative about. We're seeing money flow out of U.S. stocks and into international stocks. You don't have to know why. It doesn't matter why. You just have to know that it is. So we saw a lot of rotation within U.S. equities, and now we're seeing rotation out of U.S. equities into international equities. I'm going to start with, the lag seven, the Magnificent Seven, which have I don't know, you could say they're done, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. You could say that. I'm not going to say that. But Apple made a peak here at $260.10 on December 26th, the day after Christmas. It has never, approached that level again. Yeah, it went up to 250 in February, 2 months later, but not really threatening that high. So this thing has been selling off for a while. And there's one thing to know what to own in the market. It's also, it pays to know what not to own. To me, I've been saying this for a while. I don't like the Mag 7. They're overloved, they're overowned. There's nobody left to buy them. Microsoft here. This thing peaked back last summer, July 5th, okay, of 468. It's just been on a steady downtrend the entire time. Let's look at the moving averages here. All of them are below the 200 now. Yeah, it's down 100 points off its high. I showed you the owners of the funds. Now it had 10,694, 633, 641. So it's not only is it their funds are getting out of them completely, the ones that own them are reducing, and there's IBD growth fund managers here. There's one that increased by a little, but most of these are decreasing. Here's Danoff at Fidelity went from 21.3 down to 19.2. So they're unloading Microsoft. Like I said, it's just overloved. It's overowned. I mean, if you own an index, you own Microsoft. If you own the S&P or the Nasdaq or whatever. But these are not. These are being sold. I mean, I don't know how many ways I can say this. NVIDIA, same thing, made that high of 152. Yeah, it made like a double top. Another high of 153 on January 7th, but it's clearly selling off. Today they had, Jensen with the keynote address and new products, and they're raving about all this stuff, but the market's not impressed. It reminds me, I got to be honest, it reminds me of Cisco. Okay, we know the AI build out's coming, the AI, is going to be big winners forever and a day. But if I just go back to Cisco here, people thought Cisco was the big winner, and they have been. Cisco was a fantastic stock. If I go back to 2000 and let's say 2002, Nasdaq, excuse me, Cisco. Uh, Let me go back here to, let's just go back to, I didn't want to do this, 2001. How about that? Should show, yeah, that it made this big, run forever and ever and ever. Cisco, if I go back to the monthly, you can see from the IPO date, right? It just was the winningest stock ever, like, 8,000%. But when it was over, it's over. And it topped. It still had great news. It was still coming out with products, delivering solid earnings reports, but the stock was done. And it went from like 80 in March of 2081 dollars to, 30, pretty quickly. And if I go a couple, weeks up here, it's going to go down to like $13, like in a year. So yeah, you don't want to you don't want to suffer that same fate. There it is at 15, right? Went from 80 in March of 2000 down to 13 there in April of 2001. So it took it a year to to destruct its destruction is fast. And that's why, NVIDIA, I mean, it's a great company. Yeah, they've got new products. Everything looks fantastic except for one thing, the stock. And it's not going higher on good news. And that's bad because you want to see stocks going up on good news. And this got good news, new products, and it's not going anywhere but down. So that's fair warning. I can't say anything more. These stocks are not to be owned. Google acquired Wiz today, cybersecurity name. Now, cybersecurity is an essential in this environment and going forward. They paid 32 billion for it, so you thought it would spark a rally in some of these cybersecurity names, but not really. CrowdStrike didn't budge. Zscaler, nah, flat. Palo Alto Networks, couldn't get out of its own way, down 1%. The one stock that did, do okay was Fortinet, but it's below its 50, just kind of wallowing around down here. So there's nothing going on here with these tech names. I got to tell you, the tech looks just weak, and money's coming out of the tech stocks or coming out of these Mag 7, whatever you want to call them, meta platforms, down by its 200, Amazon below its 200. These stocks, you can't own them. I'm sorry. I've been saying it for a while. But I don't want to own them because you can't hit a grand slam with these things, like some of the stocks that I've showed over, leading stocks at mcstockcharts.com. But I'm not going to go through those right now. I'm just saying the tech stocks, the Mag 7, you got to stay away from them. The Nasdaq, I showed you how rough that is. And I'm going to go to the S&P 500. This is down 1% today, and we know that this is market cap weighted. So those big Mag 7 stocks weigh heavily on this, down 1.07%, but the RSP was only down half that. So that means the other 493 stocks in the index are doing better than the Magnificent Seven. So this is only down 0.5%, while the S&P was down 1.07%. Just pointing it out. Just pointing it out. Don't shoot the messenger here. So what the heck is working? Well, gold is working. Gold, I mean, Agnico Mines had this on the ready list last week. I think I took it off this week. I still like it above 100, above 101.45. Sure. It's getting a little extended here. It needs to pull back. It was only up 0.5% today, but still looking real strong. AU, I put this on my ready list this week. I believe it was up, yeah, nearly 4% today and more than 6% for the week. I think we'll take that as it breaks out of this double bottom base here, pulled back to moving average, and now blasting higher. Yeah, it's a little extended here, as you can see the breakout, but Gold is where it's at. I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to show strength here. Alamos Gold, another one looking very good. WPM, these are Canadian miners. That was flat today, down a little bit. FNV, Franco Nevada, making new highs today. KGC, Kinross, making new highs, looking pretty decent today. Did it make a new high? Maybe not. It looks like this is a little base here as a pullback. Yeah, 32 is above 29. Yeah, so new high for that one. GOLD, I did put this one on the ready list this morning and it's breaking out here already. 1916 gapped higher, closed near the lows of the session though. Don't like to see that. Yeah, there you see popped up at the morning and yeah, sold off in the close. Gold itself is over 3,000 an ounce now. It was up, I don't know, like 1.5% again today. Just the commodity itself is really strong. RGLD, another gold stock, so anything gold related. This one made a new high, then pulled back. Okay. All right. So where else is the money going? It's going into international stocks as well. Um, I could go to GlaxoSmithKline. How did that one do today? I kind of like this one. I don't know if I have this on the ready list. I did not put very many stocks on my ready list this week, just like five or six. A couple of insurance, a couple of gold stocks. I had one tech stock, which I got to mention here. Okta, how did that do? I didn't mention that with the rest of them. Eh, like I said, the tech is just so weak here. Um, yeah, okay. It's not dying and falling apart like some of the others. But where it's happening, where it's at is these international plays. This is BBVA. I sound like a broken record because I bring up the same stocks every day. They're just making new highs, and like I said, don't shoot the messenger. This is just this is where the money's going. Yeah, Deutsche Bank up 4% today. Boring stuff. I think you'll take 4% in a crappy tape like we have right now. This is Barclays. This is British financial institution up nearly 3% today. Um, just a lot of these TIGO. This is one that I bought last week. It's doing okay. I didn't even look at that account today, up 3%, not bad. What else? Oh, Nokia is another one. Uh, Going up nicely. HEI. My favorite, Heineken. How's Heine doing today? It was down a little bit. Ericsson is a telecommunications company. Forming a little base there. Not bad. But yeah, the European stocks are doing well. If you want to own the German, I look at the DAX every night and it's just up. Here we are again, up nearly 1% again today. It goes up like 0.5% or 1% like every day. It's ridiculous. Germany is putting, they're putting stimulus into their economy. They want to put some money into their infrastructure. So it makes sense to me that Germany is getting some love there. Other areas, I got to go to Chile, go down to South America. Nice country. They produce a lot of good wines, but this is a bank stock, up 0.25% today. It definitely broke out trading higher. And if you just want to trade like an ETF, like I said, EWG for Germany and ECH for Chile, if you just want to own Chile. I mean, this thing was up. I want to eat Chile. I don't want to own Chile. This was up 0.62%. But, if you want to play that game, that's the way I would rather play it than individual stocks. And I typically don't like exchange traded funds, but it's hard to do a lot of due diligence on uh, foreign stocks because of the currency exchange and some of um, their accounting practices, might be different. So that's why, yeah, I'm not going to go through the China stocks today. Speaking of that, Europe is fine. South America is fine. I am going to go to some U.S. stocks, and the oil stocks are doing better, especially if they have a component in natural gas. This is EQT. Yeah, it's got a natural gas component. You can see it setting up in a base here. Yeah, I kind of like this one up, nearly 4% this week. It was upgraded this morning, so partially responsible for the move today, but looking a lot better. AM, this is the morning shift at AM PM mini market. This is Antero Midstream, not bad. Another natural gas component making new highs. And then AR, which is Antero Resources. Yeah, just setting up in the base still, but you can see, straight up off the lows here. Very strong, about what, 6, 7 days in a row. Up 6% this week. You can see the consolidation pattern here. Looks pretty darn good to me. Let's see, what else do we have here in this group? Oh, Williams, WMB, double bottom base there. You can see that on the weekly. You could see the blue dot, the relative strength here. It's up 2% this week. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That could appear on our ready list one day soon. That one looks good if you're into the oil and gas, which I am. I like the oil and gas. This is another one. EXE, I was going to put this one on the ready list as it, it's got this double bottom base and then it drove through the 50 yesterday. And I thought, it's a little extended, 4% above the 10. I'm not going to put it on. What did it do today? It keeps getting more extended, 4.4% above the 10 now. It's got that standard buy point at 109.06, but it's a little extended from that 10. You can see the blue dot, the RS line. Looks very strong. So, yes, there's some oil and gas stocks that are cooking, baby. So, yeah, just keep your eyes open and keep, an open mind and stay flexible. The commodities might be the only play for a while. I got to mention some of the drugs because people are going to take drugs and they want their drugs, they want their medication in any type of a market. And this is Vertex Pharmaceuticals. You can see this one's setting up in a base. I've got to go to the weekly chart here. You can see the flat base and then this consolidation. So it's like a base on base pattern. Vertex up 1.5% this week. They have a nice pipeline, very strong stock. Nice quiet day today. Inside day, it looks like, yeah, with lighter than average volume. So Vertex looks pretty good. Couple other ones, HROW had news today and popped a little bit, 16%. Not bad. That's life in the drug lane, right? AstraZeneca, this is one of those UK based, setting up in the base here, a cup with handle. That one looks pretty good. I showed you GlaxoSmithKline, right? Oh, and Novartis is another one. Swiss brand here, cup with handle, looks a lot like AstraZeneca. So those two look like potential here as the market's really, kind of falling apart, these things are setting up in bases. So that's kind of what I look for. And also, along with the good comes the bad. Sarepta Therapeutics, which, a trial that didn't go so well, down 27.5%. If you own it, I'm sorry. I've been there, done that. It doesn't feel good. I just, as soon as I get the news, I just sell out because nothing good's going to happen here. It's not going to bounce right back on news like that. So that's part of, the drug industry. It's the penthouse or the outhouse. And unfortunately, Sarepta's in the outhouse today. All right. I've got to go to the real. It's a defensive market when Berkshire Hathaway is like the leading stock in the market. The insurance names have been doing well. This is diversified operations. Obviously, they have food, but they have insurance components and financials. Yeah, this one's making new highs. So Warren Buffett's Berkshire, definitely a very strong stock right now. Ryan, another insurance play, doing well. This has got a cup with handle, setting up in a base, trading tight within the base, near the moving average. I like that one a lot. HIG, this is, Hartford. Cup with handle, just a quiet day today. I kind of like that, allowing the moving averages to catch up. And then Bro, not Dutch Bros, but Bro, Brown and Brown, another quiet day today. I kind of like that as well, just allowing that moving average to catch up. It's just a tick above the 10 now. So maybe later this week, this one can make new highs. So the insurance looked good. Not a lot looks good. I could show you a lot of stuff that looks bad. I'm not going to do that. I showed you the tech wreck, some stuff that, is showing strength, the gold, the miners, the European stocks, the South Americans, some of their stocks, oil and drugs and insurance. So that's about it for me at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up except for one thing. We have some earnings after the bell tonight. This is Stone Company. I think Buffett owns this one too. He did. This is a Brazilian finance credit card company up 9% after hours. I'll have more on this in the morning. They reported tonight. MRVI, they reported $2 stock. Health Equity reported tonight, I believe, down 12%. Ouch, a little haircut there. And then in the morning, we're going to hear from Food Stock General Mills. See how they're gouging the public with the inflation. Actually, I think inflation is coming down, and they'll probably reflect that in their report tomorrow. Williams Sonoma is reporting in the morning. This is a high-end cookware company, and they're kind of insulated, I believe. I don't know, from tariffs. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they have to say about that. Signet Jewelers, nobody's getting married anymore, so nobody's buying diamond rings or wedding rings. And this stock has really tumbled from 112 down to 48. That's quite a haircut. If we look at the weekly, it'll give us the 57% off the highs. So that is in a stage 4 decline. Sorry, Signet. And then KC, this is a software company from China, and we'll see what they have to say. China stocks has been extremely strong. I didn't want to go through them today, though. I've been doing that every day. Give it a rest today. And then all these bargain outlet, they report in the morning as well. So maybe retail discount. I don't know. This is just a really tough tape. I've been on red, I got my exposure, like 10%, 20%, maybe 0%. If you're, I understand if you're just in cash and just cautious of this market, just waiting for a better time, that's perfectly fine and normal and logical. I always like to, participate in the market. I like to probe a little bit. And then this is one that I like. This is TGTX. Yeah, it made a high on what, Friday? 41.85, and then the lower high since then. Yesterday, the high didn't quite make 41.85.58, and then a lower high today. But, just waiting for this 10 to catch up. I think it looks fine. But you can't get complacent in this tape here. Very, very few stocks to own. This is another one that I own that I like, AEM, and then I mentioned TIGO is one that I like as well. Anyway, that's it for me at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. Have a good evening.